Fit10 Nation, it is day 21, which means we're officially 30% through the challenge. And I want to remind you to not freak out that you are 30% the way through, because the first 2 weeks are like, you're kind of learning the system and you're just getting introduced to weights and you're kind of figuring out your food. So in that sense, well, and in other senses, it's more weighted towards the end, okay? So just keep that in mind. You can kind of think of it as you've completed really like 10%, okay, or 15%. Because believe me, you'll really start to charge forward as the challenge goes on, okay? I have a lot of questions. What should I expect on my first scan? You should expect a decent change, okay? You should expect a decent change. Relatively speaking, you have to look at what you've been doing versus what you were doing before, right? I'm assuming you weren't weight training, at least not to this degree beforehand. You probably weren't monitoring your calories stringently like you are. And I don't know what you're doing for cardio. I mean, it's possible you're doing cardio like to this extent or possibly more. But your lifestyle is much more managed right now, right? So relatively speaking, there's some big changes. Okay, and just trust me, more is to come. Believe me, okay? What else did I want to say on this? There's something else I wanted to say. Oh, this is what I want to say. Because, I talked about calories yesterday, and, some people are saying, you give me too much calories, too many calories. But trust me, soon enough, you'll be saying, I'm starving. That's what you'll be saying. You literally go from, I'm eating too much to I'm starving. And there's really no change to your food. Like I said, it's just a consistency thing. That's all it is. It's being consistent, so nothing's really jumping up and down. And what's happening is you're digging every day. And you don't feel it yet. But you will feel it. Believe me, okay? Believe me. I've been doing this I've been helping people with this for 23 years. Okay, 22 years. 22. I regard myself, I don't want to say I'm an expert because that sounds way too self-indulging, but I will say that this is my area of, I have a decent amount of experience in this area, okay? Been doing it for a long time, and I've done a lot of clients. I don't know why I'm looking to the side like as if there's somebody here watching me. I used to just train people for shows. And when you train people for shows, you are literally getting them from in 12 weeks, kind of, I don't want to say average body because the person's been training probably for a while. They're not new to training, so they've got a little bit more muscle mass. But going from average body fat to stage level body fat in 12 weeks. So the principles that I apply to you guys here are the same principles that I apply to my clients, to my competitive clients, only to a lesser degree. So in the competitive world, what we do is the extreme version of fat loss. That's basically it. This is not the extreme version because the extreme version is not sustainable, right? So this is more of a modified version, okay? So... But what I want to say here, and I don't want to sound, I really don't want to sound arrogant when I say this, but the people that do what I do are the people, and obviously I'm not the only one, are the people that really know, because this is our focus. This is what we do when we're talking about people who are competitively, who are doing some level of physique competition. Because all we're doing is we're trying to maximize body composition. And we're doing everything we can do to maximize body composition. Again, it's obviously not the extreme as what I'm putting you guys through is not nearly as extreme, right? I'm trying to put you through something that's very reasonable. All right, anyways. I'm not going to try to convince you anymore, okay? Just trust me. All right. Now, scans, precautions. Jesus, I almost took up 5 minutes for that. It's ridiculous. Scans, quickly, let's run through them. No caffeine within 12 hours. No alcohol within 24 hours. Try to eat a minimum of 4 hours prior to the scan. If you have to use a washroom, make sure you do before the scan. Hands and feet need to be sanitized. Of course, I'll remind you. Stand for at least 5 minutes before your scan, so don't sit down before your scan, please. If you're waiting outside the door to go in the office for the scan, just stay standing. Ladies, if it's the time of the month for you, you need to rebook. Do not exercise vigorously before the scan. Okay, the night before, whatever, or the day before is fine. Not the morning of. Okay, please wear thinner type clothing for the scan, and no metals on your body, including metals in your undergarments. Okay, so minimize, at least minimal. Okay, if you got like little buds in your ear, it's probably not going to make a difference. Probably not going to make a difference. Okay. Also, I'm going to really encourage you not to have anything, right? Because the machine is sending a current through your body. All right. There's a great question that I read before this, but I want to talk about, maybe I'll talk about, how much time do I have here? I got 6. Okay, let's just, all right, I'm going to talk about this. There was a question asked to me in class today. Heavy versus lightweight. Does heavy training build bulk? Okay, now I know I've already addressed this, but it's still a question, and I realize that, or one thing I've come to realize through time is that I have to explain something. This is just in general. I think everybody goes through this. I'm not, I'm not unique in this way at all. I would be the same way as you guys. Generally, when I have to talk about something that you're unaware of, I have to talk about it many times. So I'm going to talk about it again because the question was brought up. And will heavy training build bulk? All right. No form of exercise will build bulk. No form of energy expenditure will put fat on you, right? So let's just define what bulk is. Bulk is the addition of fat to the body, fat or muscle. Now, I'm going to say this. When you put on weight, let's just say you didn't exercise and do anything, and you just indulged in extra calories, you will put on, some of that will go to muscle because now you're carrying around much more weight all the time. You will actually build some muscle from that because not all of it's going to be fat. The majority of it will be fat, probably 90-95%, but there will be some extra muscle. So the way you bulk, the only way you bulk is to minimize energy output, so just minimize exercise and eat more. Okay? I think I don't even really know where this comes from, but I think where bulking came from was some people, when they're trying to put on muscle, especially guys in the gym, but there's some women who do this too. They will, when they are trying to bulk, they are eating extra calories and they're training, really hard. They're not necessarily training like super, super heavy. In fact, it's not really what you want to do when you're trying to put on muscle. I mean, you do want to train heavy, but you want to train in that 6 to 20 rep range. That's where you want to train. When you're training 1, 2, 3, 4, unless you're really, really new to weight training, you're not really going to put on muscle doing that rep range. Okay? So just remember this. Bulk involves fat, putting on fat. No form of exercise, even doing a 1 rep max, okay? Any form of exercise, none of it will put on bulk, okay? Only eating will put on fat, okay? Let's be specific here because when we're talking about bulk, we're talking about fat. Only, okay? Now, another thing that was brought up related to this question was long, thinner muscle versus chunkier, bulkier muscle. Doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. You either put on muscle or you don't. Okay? There is no such thing. You can convert certain muscle fibers to be more oxidative, to be more slow twitch, to be more efficient with the type of contraction that they do. Okay? I'm not even putting it that the right way. But you can just think of, you can change the muscle fibers to basically be more conducive for endurance, or you can train the muscle fibers to be more conducive towards more power or force output. Okay, that you can do. Okay, and you can, by doing that, make the muscle fibers bigger. Okay, when you make a muscle fiber more of a fast twitch, it's going to be more of a bigger muscle. The muscle fiber can get bigger than what it would normally would. But there's no bulking the muscle. There's no like, you know, one's going to be a nice lean muscle and one's going to be like a fat marbled muscle, okay? No, doesn't exist. Okay, I'm not even going to get the question that I wanted to on here. I'll save it for tomorrow. All right. By the way, I had coffee maybe a couple hours ago, if you can't already tell. So I'm very alert. Let's get the message of the day. Easy doesn't change you. Easy doesn't change you. And I don't mean that. I don't mean like the workouts have to be like incredibly hard. It means that in general, when you're going through something in life where you want to see a change, it can be difficult in many facets. It can be physically challenging. It might be challenging in that you have to put in more effort into your planning, perhaps, right? Or maybe you have to get up earlier. It's more painful that way, right? Or you have less time for, I don't know, socializing. This type of thing, this is all going towards your, like, you know, everything is, you have, you know, so much time in a day, and there's only obviously so much you can prioritize. So you got to choose wisely on what's important to you, right? And so more priority is going to go towards doing work with this challenge, although it's really not that much work, I don't think. Not when you get into the swing of things and you learn it, okay? Maybe in the beginning, yes, but as you go through the challenge, things will get better and better. By the way, Lori, thank you very much. She gave me that book of recipes. I'm going to be going through it and find some more recipes for you. Just a reminder, there are some recipes in this booklet. Okay, I think there's about 20 or 25 recipes. Some of them are very basic, and they're some of my favorites. Some of them are, ones I found online or somewhere that are really good. And if you have any, please feel free to post them in the Slack group. Okay. But I'll be going through, and I think probably what I'll do is, because the macros are even listed, I will go through, maybe just take a picture of them and I'll post it in the Slack, okay? So maybe I'll try to do like one per day, or at least maybe 3 or 4 per week. All right. Positive energy, positive vibes. Believe in yourself, for the love of God. Believe in yourself. You have no good reason not to believe in yourself, even though we all go through this times of we question our ability. You have the ability to do whatever you put your mind to, believe me. And for the love of God, give some gratitude. It will make you a happier person, believe me, and you should be thankful for everything you have. And I will see you guys for your scan, maybe tomorrow morning. Maybe tomorrow morning. Or maybe I already saw you. All right? We'll talk to y'all soon. Have a wonderful day. See you guys.